Chapter 494. How could he be jealous? Yun Chujio was almost out of breath from Di Baiming's embrace. She said pitifully, "Prince Charming, I can't breathe. It'd be better to fly by myself on the chopping board." If Yun Chujio said this normally, Di Baiming would not think too much about it. However, after the argument with Xue Wuji, Yun Chujio's words sounded like she did not want to ride the sword with him. Like she wanted to stay away from him. Di Baiming gripped her harder. "Black thing, you belong to me. Don't even think about leaving me." Yun Chujio felt some pain from Di Baiming's pincer-like arm. She could not help but frown. "You are hurting me." Xue Wuji is right. You're really like a delicate flower." Di Baiming's face was livid, but his grip loosened. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. This gigolo bastard. How could he be jealous? If she had known this would happen, she would have admitted that those words were originally hers. However, if she admitted it now, the gigolo would definitely think that she and Wuji had joined forces to lie to him. He would probably get angrier. What should she do? If these two really fought, both of them would suffer heavy injuries. Very soon, they arrived at the place where the Linghua faction had set up camp. Di Baiming carried Yun Chujio down from the flying sword. Instantly, some female disciples started to whisper among themselves with jealousy. "This Yun Chujio is amazing. When she went off, she was with Yun Chuling. Now, she's back with young Master Di. She has one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Comparing people is so infuriating." That's right. This Yun Chujio is just lucky. She could even pass through the Wuwei Tower. What does this man count as? Who knows, she might change to another in a few days. While they were talking happily, they were suddenly forced to kneel on the ground by a terrifying pressure. Di Baiming looked at them coldly. "Do you want to die?" The female disciples did not doubt that if they said yes, Di Baiming would really kill them. "Get lost." Di Baiming waved his sleeve, and the female disciples scrambled away. "Prince Charming, you are so handsome. I like your clear-cut personality the most. You should treat me as warm as spring, and as cruel and merciless as the cold winter. Prince Charming, are you tired? Sit down and rest for a while. I'll massage your shoulders for you." Yun Chujio said obsequiously. Di Baiming snorted coldly and ignored her. His eyes were burning with anger as he looked at Xue Wuji, who was flying over on his sword. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. She turned around and ran into the temporary meeting room. "Sect Master! Sect Master! My Prince Charming and Wuji are about to fight. Just say that you'll treat them to a meal. Hurry up. If they fight, both of them will be injured. Besides, they may be able to help in the competition in 2 days." When Master Xinyuan heard this, he quickly brought a group of elders outside. As expected, Di Baiming and Xue Wuji were like two roosters fighting for luck. "Young Master Di, young Master Yun, long time no see. Please come in," Master Xinyuan said with a smile. Although Di Baiming and Xue Wuji didn't think much of the Linghua sect, because of Yun Chujio, they were still polite to Master Xinyuan. When Yun Chujio saw that the two of them didn't directly reject him, so she directly grabbed Di Baiming's arm and pulled him in. As long as the pretty boy was restrained, Wuji would not take the initiative to start a fight unless he wanted to be tortured. As expected, Xue Wuji's eyes flashed when he saw Di Baiming enter the meeting room and followed him in. Chapter 495. Black Chicken Head was about to cause trouble after everyone exchanged pleasantries. Master Xinyuan briefly talked about the matter of the Wuwei Tower trial. Xue Wuji said with pride, "Little Sister Jiao is really smart. How can those idiots compare to Little Sister Jiao? Not to mention the 9th floor, even if it was the 90th floor, Little Sister Jiao would be able to pass it." If it was any other time, Yun Chujio would have been smug when she heard Xue Wuji's words. However, it was an emergency now, so it was better to keep a low profile. Otherwise, the gigolo would be furious again. Hence, she just smiled and did not say anything. Little Sister Jiao is not only smart but also modest. If it were any other person, they would have been smug already. Look at Little Sister Jiao. She is calm and collected. I admire her. Xue Wuji spoke with confidence and assurance. Yun Chujio was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Is this black chicken head looking for trouble? Yun Chujio glared at him. She did not expect Xue Wuji to immediately say, "Little sister Jio, why are you winking at me? Do you want to have a private conversation with me?" Di Baiming's eyes were like knives as he looked at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio shrunk her neck. She was about to cry because of Xue Wuji's stupidity. She did not know what this idiot was planning. It was obvious that he wanted to cause trouble. Master Xinyuan saw that the atmosphere was tense and quickly changed the topic. "Little Jio, I haven't had the chance to ask you. Why did you get a negative score in the first place when you were training in the Wuwei Tower?" Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and laughed dryly. "Hee, it's actually nothing much. I just dug out the spirit stones from each layer of the formation discs, and I even packed a few for myself." Everyone, "What the hell? You went to practice, and then packed the other person's formation disc? What was the difference between this and going to a restaurant to eat and then packing the other person's food? It was too lenient to just give you a negative score." This girl was so greedy that she had reached a new realm of greed. After Elder Chu recovered from his shock, his eyes lit up as he said, "Little Jio, quickly take out that formation disc. This old man has opened his eyes." Yun Chujio said in a narrow-minded manner, "Okay, I'll take it out, but you can't snatch it. This is something that I worked hard to dig out." The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. Why did it feel so awkward to see the word work hard used here? Yun Chujio took out a formation disc and placed it on the ground. Everyone gathered around and clicked their tongues in wonder. Xue Wuji also came over curiously. "Yo, the material of this formation disc is made of 10,000-year-old black iron. It's really extravagant." Yun Chujio really did not look carefully. When she heard Xue Wuji say that, she immediately laughed. "Ah, I'm rich. It's really a pity that I can only enter the Wuwei Tower once. Otherwise, I'll definitely go 10 or 8 times and get all the formation discs." Everyone. Master Xinyuan looked at the groove on the formation disc. "Little Jio, what kind of spirit stones are inside?" Yun Chujio answered without hesitation, "High-grade spirit stones. Each of them contains 10 high-grade spirit stones." Master Zuanyuan's eyes flashed as he thought to himself, "You little girl, who are you trying to fool?" The materials of the array board were all so rare. How could there be high-grade spirit stones in the grooves? It must be top-grade spirit stones. This little girl had profited quite a lot in this trial. Elder Chu was unable to put it down. However, Yun Chujio had spoken first, so he had no choice but to let Yun Chujio keep the formation disc and prepare to return to the sect to borrow it for research. "Oh right, little nine, how did you discover the formation core? Do you know formations?" Elder Chu asked curiously. Chapter 496, was too shocking, I don't know. I don't know anything about formations. I've never learned it before. Yun Chujio shrugged her shoulders and said, "Then how did you find the formation core?" Everyone was puzzled. It was not easy to find the formation core. If it was a coincidence, then finding one was understandable. However, finding so many in a row was definitely not a coincidence. I originally didn't know how to do it, but when I was bored in the library, I flipped through books on formations. After learning about it on the spot, I sold off the book. Of course, I didn't learn it so easily. In the beginning, I looked at the wrong places. Later, I got used to it, so I checked specific spots. Practice makes perfect. Yun Chujio said lightly. Everyone looked like they had nothing left to live for. Was this fellow's existence used to strike at our confidence? After flipping through a book, she could immediately learn the skill? Formations were the most difficult of the 4 arts of cultivators. Not everyone could learn it. One had to have a strong spiritual sense and comprehension. Many people couldn't even learn a 3rd-level formation after learning it for decades. Yun Chujio, just by blindly guessing and immediately learning from a book, found the core of the ancient formation? This was too ridiculous. As expected, those blessed by heaven were different from us normal people. "Little Sister Jio, you are amazing. I have never admired anyone since I was young. From now on, you are my idol." Xue Wuji leaned on Yun Chujio's side and said in a flattering manner, Yun Chujio felt Di Baiming's cold breath coming out from her side. She did not dare to respond to Xue Wuji's words. She smiled foolishly and did not dare say anything. Little Jiao, what is the content of the 9th stage? Master Linghua did not even reach it. How did you manage to do it? Master Xinyuan quickly changed the topic when he saw the veins on Di Baiming's forehead bulging. The 9th stage has about 1,000 jade bottles. Out of the 1,000, only one contains pills that are not poisonous. I had to choose one according to that shameless old weapon spirit. Yun Chujio was tactful and cooperated with Master Xinyuan. Furthermore, you can't check the contents. You can only choose one based on your gut feeling. After you choose, you have to eat the pill. If there is no poison, you will pass. Otherwise, you will be ejected from the tower. Yun Chujio tactfully explained to Master Xinyuan. Choose one out of 1,000? Isn't this too difficult? It wouldn't be too bad if you could still check the bottle, but having to choose based on your gut feeling, then you can only rely on luck. Little Jiao, how did you decide? Did you really choose a random one? Elder Qi asked curiously. No. I have a trick. Yun Chujio giggled as she kept them guessing. What trick? There's a trick to tell the difference between the bottles? Everyone's curiosity was piqued by Yun Chujio. My trick is to turn around 3 times with my eyes closed, pick a random one, open the lid, and swallow the pill inside. Then, if I'm still alive and kicking, that stingy tool spirit said that I passed. Yun Chujio even admired herself. My ability to spout nonsense is getting better and better. Little sister Jiao, didn't you say that the old tool spirit resented you for taking its formation disc? Why would it agree to give you infinite points? Xue Wuji's presence could be felt anytime and anywhere. I threatened it. If it didn't swear to give me the points, I wouldn't choose a bottle. I would set up camp on the 9th floor. I even took out the recliner. Later on, that old tool spirit got dizzy and agreed to give me points after it got up. Everyone sympathized with the Wei Tower's Qi Ling. It was truly unlucky to meet such a perverted little demon. No one had heard of anyone going to the trial and even threatening the Qi Ling. Chapter 497. I don't belong to anyone. The group chatted for a while longer until it was time for dinner. Originally, Master Xinyuan wanted to hold a banquet, but Yun Chujio suggested that it would be better if everyone barbecued meat. It would be more lively as they ate and chatted. Master Xinyuan was in a good mood, so he agreed to Yun Chujio's suggestion. Yun Chujio was afraid that Di Baiming and Xue Wuji would fight again, so she was like a hard-working bee. She busied herself non-stop to avoid becoming the focus of the conflict. Yun Chujio personally roasted a wind-edge rabbit. She brushed the top of it with eupatorium honey, and a strange fragrance assailed her nose. Xue Wuji sniffed and came up to her. Little sister Jiao, your cooking is really good. The smell of this rabbit is overflowing. It's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It must be very delicious. Can you let me try a rabbit leg? Yun Chujio did not think too much. She broke off a rabbit leg and handed it to Xue Wuji. Xue Wuji was not afraid of the heat, so after taking a bite, he looked at Di Baiming provocatively. Tsk, the rabbit meat that little sister Jiao baked personally is really delicious. I have eaten so many delicacies, but none of them are as delicious as this rabbit leg. Yun Chujio wanted to strangle this idiot. Het must have done it on purpose. Di Baiming's manner grew cold. Yun Chujio felt a bone-piercing chill beside the bonfire. She quickly broke off a rabbit leg and handed it to Di Baiming. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji's leg is the front leg. It has little meat, but yours is just the back leg. It has more meat. Try my cooking. How is it? When Di Baiming heard Yun Chujio's words, the cold air surrounding him faded a little. He took the rabbit leg and took a bite. He said coldly, "It's okay." Di Baiming, how did your tongue grow? Is it just for decoration? How can you say it's okay with such delicious rabbit meat? I think you should go see a doctor for your tongue. Xue Wuji said provocatively. He did not know what was going on with him. Anyway, he was extremely displeased when he saw little sister Jiao treating Di Baiming. He wanted to stab Di Baiming a few times. Di Baiming threw the rabbit leg on the ground and suddenly stood up. Xue Wuji, come over with me. Humph. If you want to go over there, then go. Do you think I'm afraid of you? I just want to stretch my limbs. Xue Wuji also threw the rabbit leg in his hand and said provocatively. The two of them were at daggers drawn. The strong smell of gunpowder caused the scene to fall into a strange silence. Just as Master Xianyuan and the others were about to stop them, Yun Chujio picked up the two rabbit legs on the ground and threw them at Xue Wuji and Di Baiming. Fuck, are you two done? I worked so hard to roast the rabbit legs and you threw it on the ground just like that? Don't you know what it means to respect the results of other people's work? If you want to fight, then get lost and fight. Don't treat me like a maid. Also, I don't belong to anyone. I didn't belong to anyone in the past, I don't belong to anyone now, and I don't belong to anyone in the future. If anyone wants to threaten me with power, feelings, or benefits, get the fuck out of here. At worst, you'll just die. You two just have to kill me. After saying that, Yun Chujio kicked over the bonfire and returned to the female disciples' shed in a huff. Everyone was dumbfounded. Oh my god, this Yun Chujio was really scary. She actually used a rabbit's leg to smash these two malefic stars. She even scolded them. These two malefic stars must be enraged. We should stay far away to avoid being implicated. Di Baiming and Xue Wuji also did not expect Yun Chujio to suddenly lose her temper. Their faces were filled with astonishment. Both of them glared at each other. They rode their swords and left. However, they went in opposite directions. Chapter 498. Young Master, are you tempted? Xue Wuji cursed as he flew. It's all because of that stone-faced Di Baiming. If it wasn't for him, little sister Jiao and I would have been having a great time. Little sister Jiao is smart and good at talking. The roasted meat was so delicious. That stone face doesn't deserve little sister Jiao at all. He still bullies little sister Jiao all the time. How shameless. He even wants to spar with me. But if I didn't see little sister Jiao getting angry, I would have beaten him up. Behind him, Secret Agent Hua Hua had a worried look on her face. It was over. The young master still refused to admit it. It was obvious that he was already emotionally affected. Why else would he be so angry? What did it have to do with how Di Baiming treated Yun Chujio? Do you still want to fight for justice? Do you still want to beat Di Baiming up? It was still uncertain who would beat who up. While Secret Agent Hua Hua was cursing in her heart, Xue Wuji turned around and flew back. Young master, where are you going? Humph. Little sister Jiao must be very sad right now. Since Di Baiming's stone face is gone, I will go and comfort little sister Jiao. She will surely be very touched. Humph. How can that blockhead Di Baiming be as good as me in picking up girls? Xue Wuji said proudly. Young master, are you tempted? Secret Agent Hua Hua braced herself and asked. Tempted? Why would I be tempted? This young master just couldn't stand Di Baiming treating little sister Jiao like this. The thing this young master was most willing to do was to make Di Baiming unhappy. Hua Hua, is it because this young master won't punish you recently that you think this young master is too easy to talk to? Do I need you to ask about my matters? Said Xue Wuji unhappily with a gloomy face. Young master, I have crossed the line. Please punish me. If they were not in the air, Secret Agent Hua Hua would have knelt and apologized. Humph. I'll overlook it this time. It won't happen again. Xue Wuji was in a hurry to comfort Yun Chujio. After saying this, he quickly flew toward Mount Wei. Secret Agent Hua Hua wiped the cold sweat on her head and sighed in her heart. Young master is just being stubborn. Di Baiming and Yun Chujio are in love with each other. If you interfere, Di Baiming will definitely attack our Blood Devil sect. You are just looking for trouble. On the other side, Di Baiming's face was ashen. He flew hundreds of li away in one breath and landed in a desolate area. With a casual palm, he smashed a huge mountain rock into powder. Bai Li and Yun Chujio were already dead. Di Baiming felt that if he did not vent the anger in his heart, it was as if his entire body would explode. When he saw He Shi and Xue Wuji chatting and laughing, he wished he could slap Xue Wuji to death. Damn Xue Wuji. If it was not for him, He Shi would not be angry with his original body. After Di Baiming smashed the surrounding mountain rocks into pieces, he thought to himself, no. He had to go back. Although Xue Wuji had also left, there was no guarantee that he would secretly go back. He had to hurry back as soon as possible. When Di Baiming thought of this, he rode his sword and flew back to the Wei Tower's camp. From afar he saw Xue Wuji coming towards him. Xue Wuji also saw Di Baiming and could not help but curse in his heart. This expressionless man had actually returned. He must have the same idea as this young master. He definitely could not let him succeed. This young master wanted to rush in front of little sister Jiao to gain a good impression of her. Xue Wuji thought of this and sped up. Seeing this, Di Baiming also sped up. The two of them flew like two meteors towards the Linghua faction camp. However, when the two of them saw the scene in front of them, they were dumbfounded. Chapter 499. It was a good time for those two idiots to leave. The two of them could only see the Linghua faction camp filled with laughter. Yun Chujio was beaming with joy as she played cards with Feng Ming and the others. Although it was already late, Yun Chujio took out the illuminating pearl that she had dug out from Xue Wuji's place. The entire camp was as bright as day. Yun Chujio's small face was smiling like a flower. She was not heartbroken at all as the two of them were worried. She was simply overjoyed. Just now, after Di Baiming and Xue Wuji left, the atmosphere in the camp had also stagnated. Master Xinyuan and the others were worried that something might have happened to Yun Chujio. Just as they were about to go in and persuade her, they saw her jumping out with a smile. The two idiots have left. Let's continue to roast meat. We don't want them to ruin our atmosphere here. Everyone. Junior sister Xiao Jiao, weren't you really angry just now? You look too scary just now. Feng Ming came over and asked. Humph. I'm not stupid. Anger hurts my body. I won't punish myself for other people's mistakes. It's good that the two idiots have left. That way we can have more fun. Hurry up and eat, then we can play faster. Yun Chujio was indeed a little angry. However, it was not as serious as it seemed. Seeing that Di Baiming and Xue Wuji were not going to stop, she simply took the opportunity to scold the two of them. Seeing Di Baiming and Xue Wuji return, this guy acted as if nothing had happened. She greeted the two of them with a smile. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji, are you guys done with your sparring? It seems that the exchange between the two of you is very civilized. There is no injury at all. Di Baiming snorted coldly, but Xue Wuji said with a smile, Little sister Jiao, Big Brother made a mistake just now. What are you guys playing? Count Big Brother in. Yun Chujio nodded. It's good that you know your mistakes and can change. Prince Charming, what do you say? Di Baiming's face was livid. He wished he could just leave. However, if he left, wouldn't he be giving Xue Wuji a chance? He said coldly, It won't happen again. Senior brother Feng Ming, I'm not playing anymore. Find someone else to replace me. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji, come, let's play Fight the Landlord. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Xue Wuji hurriedly said, All right. Today, I will make you both lose until you cry. Seeing that Di Baiming did not move, Yun Chujio stood up and grabbed Di Baiming's arm. Prince Charming, Brother Wuji said that he will beat us until we cry. Are you afraid of him? Di Baiming snorted and sat down. The three of them began to fight. Master Xinyuan saw that the three of them had finally stopped and could not help but let out a long sigh. He felt that his old heart had withstood the harsh test in the past few days. Young people really knew how to play. One moment they were showing off their love, and the next moment they were shouting and fighting. It was too exciting. Of course, Xue Wuji had lost miserably once again. Seeing Xue Wuji's hopeless look, Di Baiming felt that his mood was much better. In the end, Xue Wuji rode his sword and flew away while howling. Hee hee, Brother Wuji's card skills are as stinky as ever. Prince Charming, I performed well just now, right? I didn't care about you even if I had a big card. I deliberately let you win. Don't be angry with me, okay? Yun Chujio pulled Di Baiming's arm and shook it. Di Baiming saw her cute appearance and his heart itched. He said to Master Xinyuan, Master Xinyuan, little Jiao, and I have some matters to attend to. We will return on the day of the competition. After Di Biming finished speaking, he did not wait for Master Xinyuan to react before he flew away with Yun Chujio on his sword. Chapter 500. I'll save it for you. Master Xinyuan was stunned. Fortunately, young Master Di and little Jio had already left. Otherwise, how would he, this old man, answer? It's the middle of the night, a man and a woman alone. What are you going to do? Isn't it obvious? However, young Master Di had already lived with little Jio for a long time. He estimated that, probably, 80% wouldn't really happen, right? Prince Charming, where are you taking me? Yun Chujio asked curiously. Naturally, I'm going to find a place to sleep. Let's go to Wuwei City. Di Biming said as he sped up his sword-riding speed. The two of them found a large inn. Originally, there were no rooms in this inn. After Di Biming said that he would pay double the spirit stones, the shopkeeper eagerly vacated a room. The first thing Yun Chujio did when she entered the room was to open the isolation array. Then, she began to show off her treasures. Prince Charming, let me tell you. Actually, I'm in the Wuwei Tower. Yun Chujio was about to say that she had gotten a lot of supreme-grade spirit stones in the Wuwei Tower, but she swallowed her words. Was she stupid? If she told the truth, the gigolo would definitely want all the supreme-grade spirit stones, so she was determined to keep quiet. What happened to you in the Wuwei Tower? Di Biming asked curiously. I got a map and a jade token in the Wuwei Tower. I haven't had the chance to look at it yet. My prince, let's take a look together. Yun Chujio took out the sheepskin scroll and the jade token from her storage ring. I've never seen the material of this jade token before. It seems to be used as a key. Maybe it has something to do with this map. Di Biming took the jade token and said after flipping through it. Prince Charming, this map is a mess. Why can't I understand it? Where is this? Yun Chujio frowned and pointed at the map on the table. Di Biming saw that this was a map made from the skin of the poison-horned antelope. The poison-horned antelope was an ancient demon beast that was basically extinct now. The map made from its skin could be preserved for tens of thousands of years. There were several messy curves drawn on the poison-horned antelope's skin. Other than the fact that it was basically a mountain peak near the sea, nothing else could be seen. I knew that stingy old Qi Ling didn't have any good intentions. He gave me such a useless piece of junk. Fortunately, I cleverly extorted 100 supreme-grade spirit stones from it. Otherwise, I would have suffered a great loss. Yun Chujio wanted to strangle herself the moment she finished speaking. Damn it. It slipped out. The fellow quickly tried to make up for it. I made a mistake with my stupid mouth. It was 20 supreme-grade spirit stones. I originally wanted 100, but it didn't agree. Di Biming's eyes flashed. He said nonchalantly, it doesn't matter if it's 100 or 20. It was you who extorted it anyway. I'm not interested. However, I think that the Wuwei Tower's Qi Ling must have existed for tens of thousands of years and must be very difficult to deal with. It's already pretty good that you could get 20 spirit stones. It's impossible for you to get 100 spirit stones. Yun Chujio straightened her back when she heard what Di Biming said. Humph. No matter how smart he is, how can he be as smart as me? Not only did I get 100 supreme-grade spirit stones from it, I even got 100 spirit stones from the formation discs. Di Biming nodded and stretched out his hand. Supreme-grade spirit stones are too rare. It's not safe to keep them with you. I'll keep them for you. When the second round of the competition comes, they'll find a chance to tell you so that you won't be targeted. Chapter 501. I want to see the stars. Yun Chujio was dumbfounded. She was usually such a shrewd person. How could she be so unguarded in front of this gigolo? How could she let him get the truth out of her just like that? Damn it. Why did he say that he would keep it for her? What a lie. If it was just to confuse others, he could have just said it. I have to give it to you for safekeeping. Don't even think about it. It was not easy for me to become a rich person. I can't let the gigolo take away my precious spirit stones. Prince Charming, I'm so sleepy. I'm going to sleep first. Do whatever you want. Yun Chujio took off her coat and climbed to the side of the bed. She closed her eyes and pretended to be asleep. Di Biming raised his eyebrows. Black thing, I have a pair of moonlight begonia boots that are protected from lightning. Do you want them? Yun Chujia's eyelashes trembled. The gigolo must be lying to her. She could not fall for it. Don't tell me you really don't want it? After every lightning strike, you have to waste a pair of boots. These moonlight begonia boots won't have that problem. Most importantly, the boots can not only resist lightning strikes, but it can also increase the wearer's speed. If you encounter danger in a place where flying is prohibited, these moonlight begonia boots are simply the best weapon to escape and save your life with. Yun Chujia's eyelashes trembled even more. Sob. I really want it. However, if she wanted those boots, the gigolo would take away the supreme-grade spirit stones that she had obtained with great difficulty. She really could not bear to part with them. When Di Baiming saw this, the corners of his mouth curled up as he continued, Black Thing, do you think you can spend the supreme-grade spirit stones you have? Once you take them out to exchange for them, you will be targeted by others. At that time, you'll be in trouble. Do you think it's better to keep them in your storage ring and let them rot? Or do you think it's better to exchange them for this pair of moonlight begonia boots that I'm offering you? Yun Chujio gritted her teeth, opened her eyes and said, Didn't you say that you gave them to me? Why is it an exchange? It's not impossible to give it to you. That depends on whether I'm happy or not. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio no longer pretended to be asleep, and he was very proud of himself. I can leave the spirit stones with you, but you have to write a formal letter for me. Otherwise, what happens if you start acting like a scoundrel again when I use it? Yun Chujio pouted and said. Di Baiming walked to the table, took out a brush, ink, paper, and inkstone, and wrote a letter for Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio then pouted and handed the 200 supreme-grade spirit stones to Di Baiming. Di Baiming took out a pair of exquisite little boots from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujio. She jumped off the bed and tried it on. Sure enough, after wearing it, she felt lighter and her aching heart was slightly comforted. Fortunately, she still kept a dozen or so pieces, or else she would really be finished. She had started playing tricks when she was in a bad mood. Prince Charming, I want to go out and look at the stars. Carry me out to look at the stars. Di Baiming glared at her. Didn't you just come back from the outside? You've been looking at the stars the whole night. Why do you still want to look at the stars? I don't care. I want to look at the stars anyway. If you don't carry me out, they'll cry. After saying that, the guy sat on the bed and started wailing. Black Thing, stop wailing. Go to sleep. Di Baiming felt a headache. He knew that Yun Chujio was acting like a demon because he confiscated her spirit stones. Fortunately, the isolation array was activated in the room so no one could hear her. I don't want to. I want to see the stars. What? I want to see the stars. Yun Chujio did not have a single tear at the corner of her eye. She was acting like a demon. Di Baiming could not take it anymore. He directly pressed Yun Chujio onto the bed and kissed her. Chapter 502. That Sundra's illness can be cured. The two of them lingered for quite a while. Yun Chujio's little face flushed red as she glared at Di Baiming. Then she feigned fierceness and said, I'm sleepy. Quickly sing a lullaby for me. Di Baiming was satisfied and in a good mood. He hummed softly and thought to himself, I'm really smart. This is a good way to shut the Black Thing up. I must use it frequently in the future. The next day, Yun Chujio dragged Di Baiming out for a stroll. I didn't have enough fun yesterday. Today, I'm going to have a good stroll. Tomorrow is the second round of the competition. If I don't take a stroll today, I won't have time anymore when we have to return to Spirit Radiance Sect tomorrow. The two of them had just left the inn when they saw Shui Wuji standing in front of them, pretending to be surprised. What a coincidence! Little Sister Jiao, I didn't expect that we would have a telepathic connection to come to Wuwei City for a holiday. Di Baiming looked at Shui Wuji's smug face and wished he could slap him to death. He said coldly, Shui Wuji, I thought you lost so miserably yesterday that you went to commit suicide. I didn't expect you to still be alive. Shui Wuji brushed his hair and said, Humph. Little Sister Jiao told me before that spirit stones aren't to be brought out. If you lose, so be it. I don't care about it at all. Behind him, Shadow Agent Hua Hua pursed his lips. Young master, don't you feel guilty for saying that? Who was the one who wailed for the entire night yesterday? Di Baiming snorted coldly and pulled Yun Chujia's hand. Black Thing, I will take you for a stroll over there. Shui Wuji, don't follow us. Otherwise, I will not be polite to you. Shui Wuji looked up at the sky and ignored Di Baiming. However, he followed the two of them closely. Shui Wuji, didn't you hear what I said? Scram. This road doesn't belong to you. I'm going my way and you're going yours. What right do you have to make me leave? Shui Wuji was fearless. He thought to himself, I'm not the one who's looking for trouble. If Di Baiming takes the initiative to beat me up, little sister Jiao will definitely be angry with him. That would be the best. Di Baiming was so angry that he gritted his teeth. However, when he thought of what Yun Chujio said yesterday, he endured it and ignored Shui Wuji. When Shui Wuji saw that Di Baiming was ignoring him, he walked to Yun Chujia's side and said, Little sister Jiao, yesterday we went to the snack shop, food stores, and the bookshop. Where do you want to go today? Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming was staring at her with his dull eyes. She could not help but want to slap this idiot Shui Wuji to death. He was really asking for it. Black Thing handed over. Yun Chujio frowned and handed a book to Di Baiming with a pained expression. Fortunately, she had finished reading it last night. Otherwise, her heart would really ache. It was all because of that black chicken's head. He was so stupid. When Di Baiming saw the cover of All the Beautiful Husbands, he inexplicably remembered that Yun Chujio had once praised Shui Wuji's good looks with a voice transmission talisman. The anger in his heart could no longer be suppressed. Black Thing, you didn't take what I said to heart at all. What exactly are you thinking in your heart? You spend all your time reading such nonsense books. Do you want me and Shui Wuji to both marry you? You've really let me down. Yun Chujio was about to explain that these books were just for entertainment. She did not have any other thoughts, but Di Baiming was so angry that he actually rode his sword and flew away. Yun Chujio was stunned for a moment before she also became angry. Damn it. The gigolo was really sick. He did not give her a chance to explain it all and just ran away. Being arrogant was a sickness that needed to be treated. Damn it, if he was willing to leave, then he should leave. Chapter 503. The gigolo was too overbearing. Little sister Jiao, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I let it slip. Shui Wuji looked guilty. Yun Chujio said angrily, It's not your fault. That Sundara needs to be taught a lesson. I'm only reading those books to pass the time, but he's already making judgments. His heart is only as big as the eye of a needle. Di Baiming is famous for being fussy in the Tianyuan continent. Little sister Jiao, don't be angry. It's even better that he left. Big brother will take you around. Shui Wuji was overjoyed at that moment. I'm really smart. Little sister Jiao definitely would not have thought that I let it slip on purpose. Di Baiming was so angry and just ran away. This is my chance. Shui Wuji attentively accompanied Yun Chujio for a whole day. Yun Chujio converted her grief and anger into purchasing power and shopped. But, not only did Shui Wuji snatch the spirit stones, but he also bought all the things that Yun Chujio felt she could buy but did not. Shadow Agent Hua Hua had a look of despair. It was over. Their young master had definitely fallen into this trap. Young master, there are thousands of women in this world. Why did you have to like the same woman as Di Baiming? You're definitely looking for trouble. It was only when the sun was setting that the two of them returned to Spirit Radiance sex camp. Shui Wuji lingered for a while and promised to return the next day to support the sect. Only then did he get on his sword and leave. Sect Master Xinyuan was very puzzled. Didn't little Jiao leave with young Master Di yesterday? Why was she sent back by this Yun Chuling today? Things between young people were really hard to understand. There was a small stream beside Spirit Radiance sex camp. Yun Chujio was in a bad mood, so she sat by the stream and picked up the pebbles by the side and threw them into the stream. Although she did not show it on the surface, she felt a little sad and a little wronged. The gigolo was really too overbearing. Although those books were a little vulgar, she just wanted to enjoy them. Was there a need for him to be so angry? He even said that she wanted him and Xue Wuji to both marry her. He was really too detestable. He left her when he was angry. If they got married in the future, he would definitely run away from home when he was angry. When that time came, she would hug her baby and silently cry. Just thinking about it was upsetting, right? This time, she would definitely not lower her head first. She had to control this bad habit of his. Wow, someone actually went out with a man for a night yesterday and was sent back by another man. She isn't old, but she really has some tricks to seduce men. Ah, she's the first person to pass the Wuwei Tower trial. She's even more powerful than our junior sister Sue, so she's naturally not simple. She just got lucky. Junior sister Sue is the real genius. She is just a good-for-nothing in the 4th level of spirit enhancement, so what if she passed the 9th level? Although she's a good-for-nothing, she knows how to seduce men. I think besides those 2 men, there are 3 male disciples in Spirit Radiance sect who are interested in her. It is said that she's one of the 3 heroes of Spirit Radiance sect. That's right. I wonder if those 2 young masters have bad eyesight. They actually took a fancy to this trash. Yun Chujia's eyes darkened. Damn, they were really unlucky. It was just the right time to vent her anger on them. Yun Chujio turned around and saw 2 women standing behind her, both wearing Heavenly Gates sect's inner disciple attire. When the 2 saw Yun Chujio turning around to look at them, one of the round-faced women said arrogantly, "What are you looking at? Since you've done such a shameless thing, don't be afraid of others talking about it." Chapter 504. Draw a little bastard on your face. If you 2 don't want to get beaten up, then get lost. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Yun Chujio felt that it was better to give a verbal warning first. When the time came, she would take the most sensible action. This is so funny. One of us is at the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm, and the other is at the 1st level of the Spirit Cultivator realm. She, a useless person at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm, said that she wants to beat us up. Is she crazy? The round-faced woman laughed so hard that she staggered back and forth, and the other long-faced woman was also laughing so hard that she was trembling. Yun Chujio smiled and took out the isolation array from her storage ring. After she activated it, she said with a smile, "Both of you are seriously ill. In that case, I will enlighten you." Before Yun Chujio finished her sentence, she had already arrived behind the round-faced woman. She raised her right foot and kicked the back of the woman's waist. The round-faced woman did not even have the time to react and was already kicked into the stream. Coincidentally, her head bumped into a rock, causing her head to bleed and faint immediately. When the long-faced woman saw this, she attacked Yun Chujio. "Stinky girl! How dare you ambush me? I will kill you!" Yun Chujio easily dodged her attack and sneered. "You want to kill me? Come on, I want to see you try." The long-faced woman saw that Yun Chujio's movement was extremely fast and a trace of viciousness flashed in her eyes. She gathered her spiritual power in her right palm and after forming a seal, 6 wind blades charged toward Yun Chujio. "Stinky girl! I will kill you today. Our sect leader hates you to death. Even if I kill you, our sect leader will still keep my life. Perhaps he will even accept me as a successor disciple." When the long-faced woman saw that Yun Chujio did not dodge, she was very pleased with herself. This Yun Chujio is most likely scared silly. This time, she's definitely going to die. When the time comes, he'll bring the corpse back to receive a reward. Who would have thought that Yun Chujio would suddenly leap more than 3 meters high on the spot? After dodging the wind blades, she directly kicked the woman. The long-faced woman was still secretly pleased with herself. After being kicked by Yun Chujio, she also landed in the stream. The round-faced woman had already woken up and was about to get up, but she did not expect to be knocked unconscious by the long-faced woman again. Yun Chujio walked to the side of the long-faced woman and pressed her acupoints. She gave her a good beating and then stepped on her chest. She took out a large kitchen knife and placed it on her neck. "Hand over all the spirit stones in your storage bag, or I'll draw a little bastard on your face." The long-faced woman gritted her teeth and said, "Damn girl! How dare you treat us like this? Our sect will not forgive you." Yun Chujio smiled at her and then took the large kitchen knife and cut her face. The woman cried out in pain. Seeing that Yun Chujio was going to continue cutting, the woman was so scared that she quickly transferred all the spirit stones in her storage bag to Yun Chujio. "That's all? It seems that you really want to have a little bastard on your face." Yun Chujio took the kitchen knife and cut her again. The woman screamed, "There's really nothing left. Senior Sister Lee has some. Wake her up. She's richer than me." Yun Chujio could not help but sneer in her heart. The saying, "a friend dies, but not you," was very much true. Yun Chujio kicked the round-faced woman. When the round-faced woman woke up and was about to attack, Yun Chujio stepped forward and pressed her acupoints. After beating her up, she said, "Your junior sister said that you're very rich. Hand over your spirit stones, or else he'll draw a little bastard on your face too." Chapter 505. Who was going to kill who? The round-faced woman glared at the long-faced woman, and then saw the 2 bloody marks on her face. She reluctantly gave Yun Chujio some spirit stones. "That's it? It seems that you really want to be sisters with your junior sister. Then he'll grant you your wish." Yun Chujio was about to make a move with her big kitchen knife. The round-faced woman was so frightened that she quickly transferred all the spirit stones in her storage bag to Yun Chujio and begged repeatedly, "Miss Yun, I have eyes, but I didn't recognize greatness in front of me. I've already given you all the spirit stones, so please let me go." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and said, "How about this? I'm in a good mood today. One of you can go back alive. If either of you can take out any more valuable things, I'll let you go." The long-faced woman quickly said, "Miss Yun, I have 3 stocks of low-grade, black category jobs tiers." The round-faced woman saw the situation and hated the long-faced woman even more. She said loudly, "I have 5 stalks of mid-grade, black category sky blue sunflower. I also have 2 tier 5 demonic beasts inner cores. Miss Yun, her inner cores aren't valuable. I have 3 tier 6 demonic beasts inner cores." Yun Chujio sneered as she watched the 2 of them compete to take out valuable items. Naturally, she accepted them one by one with a smile. Later, seeing that the items taken out by the 2 of them were becoming less and less valuable, she tapped their mute acupoints and then withdrew the isolation array. She shouted at the top of her voice, "Help! Help! The people of the Heavenly Gates sect want to kill me. Quick, someone come, help!" When the people from Spirit Radiance sect heard Yun Chujio's shout, Master Xinyuan and the others immediately rushed over. They were almost scared out of their wits. Master Xinyuan rushed to the scene of the incident with a few leaps and was dumbfounded. Who exactly wanted to kill who? There were 2 female disciples of the Heavenly Gates sect lying in the stream. One of them had blood on her forehead and the other had 2 cuts on her face. From the looks of it, it was obvious that they had been badly beaten up. "Little Gio, are you sure that they want to kill you and not vice versa? Besides, even if you want to frame them, you have to make the scene more realistic. In this situation, no matter who comes, they will think that you want to kill them." Just as Master Xinyuan was in a daze, the people of the Heavenly Gates sect arrived. The Heavenly Gates sect's camp was close to Spirit Radiance sect's camp, so Du Gai and the others also heard Yun Chujio's shout. Du Gai was stunned. He had not instructed his disciples to kill Yun Chujio. What was going on? Thus, Du Gai also brought some people from the Heavenly Gates sect and rushed over. Du Gai saw the scene in front of him and immediately he was furious. "Yun Chujio, so you're a thief shouting robbery. You're clearly the one who beat up our Heavenly Gates sect's disciples, but you actually twisted it. Master Xinyuan, you have to give me an explanation for this matter. Otherwise, our Heavenly Gates sect will never let this go." Master Xinyuan coughed dryly. "Little Gio, what exactly is going on?" Yun Chujio frowned. Her face was filled with indignation. "It went like this. I sat by the stream to enjoy the scenery, and then these 2 senior sisters scolded me. They said that it was because of me that the Heavenly Gates sect went from number 1 to number 4. If they kill me, Master Dugu will definitely reward them, so they took action. Du Gai sneered. Yun Chujio, do you think that everyone here is blind? You're unharmed, and the two of them are covered in wounds. Who wants to kill who? Yun Chujio said unhurriedly, of course they want to kill me. It's a pity that they aren't skilled. Moreover, I have the defensive spirit tool that you gave me. So not only did they not kill me, but they were beaten up by me instead. I was quite useless to begin with. I didn't expect that the two of them were even more useless. They couldn't even defeat me. I heard from sect leader Du that you're quite regretful that they weren't able to kill me, right? Could it be that you sent them to kill me? Chapter 506. Suffered a critical hit of 100,000 points. Nonsense. Why would I send these two good-for-nothings to kill you? Du Gai shouted angrily. Ah, do you mean to send someone powerful to kill me? Heavens! How innocent the first am. Fairy Yu Mei, Taoist Genie, you two came at the right time. The people of the Heavenly Gates sect want to kill me. Sob sob. I'm scared to death. Yun Chujio ran to Fairy Yu Mei's side, face full of grief. Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Genie also heard Yun Chujio's heart-wrenching cries, so they hurried over. However, their camp was a little far away, so they were a step late. The two of them also looked at the two female disciples of the Heavenly Gates sect who were still lying in the stream, and then looked at the lively Yun Chujio. Did they hear wrongly? It was not the Heavenly Gates sect who wanted to kill Yun Chujio, but Yun Chujio who wanted to kill the people of the Heavenly Gates sect, right? Sob sob. Do you see that they're in a worse state than me, so you thought that I wanted to kill them? Heaven and earth have a conscience. They didn't learn well, and I have the defensive spiritual tool that you two gave me, so I survived. Moreover, I know that their spiritual power is higher than mine, and there are two of them. Would I take the initiative to provoke them? Maybe if I was a fool. Why aren't they saying anything to defend themselves? Because they're guilty. Does the good person have to be killed to determine that the person alive is a murderer and villain? You two are reasonable people, so you definitely wouldn't think so. You two must help me make a decision. My young mind suffered a critical hit of 100,000 points. Oh right. Sect leader Du just said that he regretted sending these two good-for-nothings to kill me. It would have been better if he had sent two powerful ones to kill me. Listen, as the sect leader of a sect, he actually sought revenge for the smallest grievance. Just because their Heavenly Gates sect got 4th place, he wants to kill me. This is too vicious. Sob sob. My little life has been seriously threatened. Who knows? He might even hate you too. In any case, he hates those who are stronger than his Heavenly Gates sect. He felt that other than their Heavenly Gates sect, no other sect should be ranked first. If you think about it carefully, if the second round of the competition is held tomorrow, and if the Bixiao Palace and Immortal Sword sect had a disciple who was ranked first, he would also have to send someone to kill them. After Yun Chujio said that long sentence, she did not stop in the middle. Du Gai was so angry that his face and neck was red. He wanted to interrupt a few times, but he was drowned out by Yun Chujio's clear voice. Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Genie were both stunned. How could this little girl have such a large mouth? She was really too talkative. However, the two of them believed her by about 80%. What the little girl said made sense. She had no motive to kill the two disciples of the Heavenly Gate sect. On the other hand, it was Du Gai, the old man, who suffered a loss in the Wuwei Tower trials. It was inevitable that he would feel indignant, so the disciples of the sect had to kill him. Du Gai was narrow-minded and was really capable of doing such a thing. Fortunately, this little girl had a defensive spirit tool on her. Moreover, she had a lot of shrewdness, which was why she had escaped death. Du Gai saw that Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Genie were deep in thought. He shouted angrily, Yun Chujio is spouting nonsense. I didn't send them to kill Yun Chujio at all. Even if they really wanted to kill Yun Chujio, it was their own decision that had nothing to do with me. When the two women in the stream heard Du Gai's words, they were scared out of their wits. If the sect leader gave up on us, then Spirit Radiance sect will not forgive us. Previously, the two of them wanted to defend themselves, but they could not make a sound. In their desperation, the round-faced woman realized that she could make a sound and quickly shouted, I didn't want to kill Miss Yun. I only scolded her a few times. It was junior sister Chi who wanted to kill Miss Yun. Chapter 507. My little heart. When the long-faced woman heard that the round-faced woman had pushed all the blame onto her, she glared at the round-faced woman angrily. Then she cried out. It was clearly senior sister Lee who scolded Yun Chujio for seducing a man first. She was so shameless. Furthermore, she was the one who made the first move to kill Miss Yun. She was kicked into the stream by Miss Yun. I only made the first move to save her. Nonsense. You were the one who scolded Miss Yun first. Furthermore, you used a wind blade to kill her. However, you didn't manage to kill her and were kicked into the water by Miss Yun instead. Du Gai almost spat out a mouthful of blood. There was no need to ask anymore. These two idiots had sold each other out. When Yun Chujio heard the two women say that, she immediately howled, "Oh my God! My injustice has finally been cleared. Not only did I almost lose my life at such a young age, but I was also backstabbed and slandered as a murderer. My little heart feels too uncomfortable. If there isn't anything to comfort me, my heart will be broken and I will die." The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. This fellow was trying to make Heavenly Gate's sect compensate her. Du Gai felt that if he did not find an opportunity to kill Yun Chujio, sooner or later, he would be angered to the point of vomiting blood and die. Du Gai squeezed out a smile and said, "Little girl, this is all a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. When I return to the sect, I will definitely punish these two disciples severely. As for the injuries you suffered, I will give you a middle-grade spirit tool, okay?" Yun Chujio howled even louder, "Wow, wow. My little life is so worthless. My little heart, my little arms, and my calves are so scared that they're not listening to me anymore." Du Gai took a deep breath and tried to persuade himself in his heart. Only then did he manage to hold back the thought of strangling Yun Chujio. He gritted his teeth and said, "2 middle-grade spirit tools should be enough, right?" Yun Chujio's sobs suddenly stopped. She giggled and stretched out her small claws. "All right then. Since you're so generous, I won't pursue the matter." Du Gai threw 2 middle-grade spirit tools to Yun Chujio. He ignored the 2 female disciples who were soaking in the stream. He cupped his hands toward Fairy Yu Mei and Taoist Jenny and left angrily. Fortunately, there were a few female disciples from the Heavenly Gates sect who helped the 2 women out of the stream. At this time, their acupuncture points were automatically opened. Although the 2 hated Yun Chujio, they hated each other even more and kept scolding each other. If it were not for someone pulling them, they would probably have started fighting. Fairy Yu Mei looked at Yun Chujio with a smile. "Little girl, your little mouth really knows how to talk. There SOSO. It's mainly because I'm in the right. Besides, it's also because you and Taoist Jenny were backing me up. Who doesn't know that you two are the most fair and won't leave me to die? If it weren't for the 2 of you, Sect Master Du might have killed me to silence me." Yun Chujio smiled and put on a high hat for the 2 of them. Fairy Yu Mei smiled. Although this little girl was a little greedy, she was still very likable. Fairy Yu Mei, Taoist Jenny, and Master Xinyuan exchanged a few more pleasantries before they bade farewell and left. Qi Piampian and Wu Yinyu shrunk their necks. After seeing the miserable state of the 2 female disciples of Heavenly Gates sect, they finally knew how terrifying Yun Chujio was. It was better for them to not provoke her in the future. After Yun Chujio was done beating people up and making a small fortune, her mood improved. She followed everyone to the camp. When she arrived at the camp, she saw Di Baiming with a livid face staring at her with soulless eyes. Chapter 508. The shameless scum who murdered his own wife. Master Xinyuan and the others felt that the cold air around Di Baiming could freeze them. They gave Yun Chujio a look of self-seeking and all of them ran away. Di Baiming originally thought that Yun Chujio would run over to apologize when she saw him. He did not expect Yun Chujio to straighten her little body and walk past Di Baiming with her head held high as if she did not know Di Baiming at all. Di Baiming gritted his teeth. "Black thing, stop right there." Yun Chujio acted as if she did not hear him and continued hopping forward. "Black thing. I said stop right there." Yun Chujio still ignored Di Biming and jumped even more happily. Di Biming felt that he was about to explode. With a wave of his sleeve, Yun Chujio realized that she could not move anymore. However, this girl still ignored Di Biming and kept her silence to the end. Black Thing, didn't you hear me calling you? Di Biming was even more furious when he saw Yun Chujio's fearless look. I'm not Black Thing. My name is Yun Chujio, and some people call me Little Gio. What the hell is Black Thing? I'm not black anyway. Who knows who you're calling? Yun Chujio snorted coldly. Little fellow, since you're willing to come back, you must be regretting it. If you still want to act pretentious, dream on. Today, I'll serve you your arrogant and stinky habit. Black Thing, you've grown wings, haven't you? Do you think I can't do anything to you? Di Biming's eyes were filled with fire as he stared fiercely at Yun Chujio. You're so powerful, of course you have a way. Aren't you just going to kill me? Then just kill me. Anyway, I don't think there's any meaning in living. I was just reading salacious books to kill time. What's so evil about that? How is it that I've offended you? Yun Chujio was going all out. Anyway, the gigolo would not beat her up, so why should she be afraid of him? From now on, she would be the master. You're twisting the truth. There are so many kinds of books, why do you only look at the vulgar ones? Di Biming wanted to strangle her to death. Vulgar? How is it vulgar? I didn't look at the erotic pictures, how am I vulgar? Yun Chujio said confidently. You actually want to look at that kind of thing? Black Thing, I must teach you a good lesson today. Di Biming held Yun Chujio by her waist and slapped her but hard. Yun Chujio immediately howled like a pig being slaughtered. Gigolo! You actually dare to hit my little butt. My little butt is going to be smashed. Sob sob. Gigolo, you shameless scum who murdered his wife. I'm not done with you. Sob sob, I just read some books. I didn't go to a brothel and get a gigolo. What right do you have to hit me? Di Biming was a little regretful after beating her up, but when he heard Yun Chujio say that, he was so angry that he slapped her again. It hurt so much. Sob sob. Gigolo, I won't talk to you anymore. You fussy bastard. You actually hit me. Help. Help. Is there anyone in Spirit Radiance sect who is still breathing? I'm going to be beaten to death by this gigolo. Someone come and save me. Don't you people want to save me? What? Why did I join such a heartless sect? If I'm beaten to death by this gigolo, I won't forgive you even if I become a ghost. Chapter 509. You heartless man. When Master Xinyuan heard Yun Chujio's heart-wrenching screams, he had no choice but to brace himself and walk over. Young Master D, please give me some face. If you have something to say, let's talk it out. Put little Gio down first. Di Biming was really angry just now. Now that he had calmed down, he was also somewhat regretful. Seeing that Master Xinyuan had come over to persuade him, he took the opportunity to put Yun Chujio down and remove the shackles. Gigolo! How dare you hit my little butt? I will never talk to you again. Yun Chujio wiped away her tears and ran away crying. Master Xinyuan sighed when he saw the situation. Young Master D, little Gio has a temperamental character. She just finds those words interesting. You are too harsh on her. Di Biming nodded stiffly. He did not know why he was so against Yun Chujio reading those books, especially since Shui Wuji had been sticking to Yun Chujio these days. He felt very uneasy and wanted to firmly control Yun Chujio, only then did he feel at ease. Little Gio was really sad just now. I think she went to the stream. Quickly go and persuade her. Master Xinyuan was persuaded when he saw the regret on Di Biming's face. Di Biming cupped his fists at Master Xinyuan and then headed toward the stream. Master Xinyuan shook his head. Little Gio and young Master D were both people with strong personalities. Former Little Gio always tried to curry favor with him, so they got along very well. Now, Little Gio was beginning to show her personality, so these two people were bound to face some trouble. When Di Biming rushed to the stream, he saw Yun Chujio continuously throwing stones into the stream, cursing as she did so. Gigolo! Bastard! You actually spanked my little butt. I won't forgive you. I won't pay any more attention to this bastard who spanked his wife. Although Di Biming felt a little regretful, the knot in his heart had not been untied, so he just stood by the side and did not say anything. Yun Chujio originally saw Di Biming coming over and thought that he was there to persuade her. Seeing Di Biming standing there like a wooden pestle made her even angrier. Some people eat carrots and worry about nothing. Why do you care what I read? In the future, I will not only read, I will also write. I have already thought of the title of the book. It will be called The Story That My Husband and I Have to Tell. Di Biming was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He endured it and did not say a word. Not only will I write it, I will also add illustrations. The illustrations are all of naked goblins fighting. When the time comes, I will definitely sell it for a lot of spirit stones. Di Biming could not bear it anymore. Black thing. You are spouting nonsense. How dare you? What? Why are you staring at me? Do you still want to hit me? Let me tell you, Gigolo. If you dare to hit me again, I will jump into the river and commit suicide. Yun Chujio said angrily. Di Biming looked at the 2-foot-deep stream and could not help but sneer. Black thing, do you think this stream can drown you? Yun Chujio pouted and howled again. Good. Gigolo, you actually want me to die. You heartless man, you heartless bastard. Get lost. I don't want to see you ever again. When did I say I want you to die? You're the one who said you wanted to jump into the river and commit suicide. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio was sobbing, so he held back and did not go forward to hold Yun Chujio in his arms. Yun Chujio was almost sobbing, but Di Biming still did not give in. She gritted her teeth in anger. Okay, I will drown myself today. I will let you see if this stream can drown a person. Chapter 5:10. What do you want, black thing? Yun Chujio ran to the side of the stream and stuck her little head into the water. Di Biming was so angry that he went forward and lifted Yun Chujio up. What do you want, black thing? Yun Chujio was like a little bastard and kept struggling. What do you mean by what I want? You're the one looking for trouble. This morning, you scolded me for no reason and even left me behind. You didn't even consider my safety. Just now, you slapped my little butt and now you're treating me like this. What do you take me for? A pet? I'm human. I have my own thoughts and hobbies. I'm equal to you. What right do you have to treat me so tyrannically? Di Biming was a little confused by Yun Chujio's words. In his opinion, Yun Chujio belonged to him. Since she belonged to him, she naturally had to listen to him. Some small matters could be handled according to Yun Chujio's personality, and she could be pampered a little. However, once he made a decision, Yun Chujio had to listen to him unconditionally. While Di Biming was in a daze, Yun Chujio broke free from his hand and ran back to the camp in a flash. Di Biming did not chase after Yun Chujio. He looked at Yun Chujio's back with an expressionless face. Yun Chujio's words had a huge impact on his perception. He could not understand his own thoughts at that moment. Yun Chujio ran back to the shed where the female disciples were. Zhou Piaoyu and the others were meditating and chatting in groups of 3 to 5. When they saw Yun Chujio running in with tears on her face, they immediately quieted down. It had to be said that the miserable state of the 2 female disciples from Heavenly Gates sect made them fear Yun Chujio. This fellow was really evil. Moreover, she could even say that she was evil. It was better for them to not provoke her. Yun Chujio could not be bothered with them. She wiped her tears and scolded the gigolo a few hundred times. Then she took out a storybook and started reading it. Gigolo, just because you don't allow me to read it means I have to listen? I want to read it. This fellow rubbed her butt as she read. Damn it. Damn gigolo. You actually dare to spank my little butt. This time, I will definitely not forgive you easily. What a despicable move. Just you wait. Sooner or later, I will rip off your pants and give you a vicious beating. Di Biming did not sleep for almost the entire night. He did not know whether he should adhere to his own principles or follow Yun Chujio's instructions and treat her as an equal partner in their relationship. The next day, when the sky was slightly bright, Shui Wuji rode his sword and came. Sister Little Gio. Sister Little Gio. I brought you dumplings from Wuwei City. Come out and have breakfast. Yun Chujio heard Xue Wuji's shout and walked out from the shed. Brother Wuji, you're here so early. Didn't you say that you wanted to eat dumplings that day? I bought them for you. I also bought you porridge and side dishes to prevent you from having too much of those greasy dumplings. Xue Wuji took out a table from his storage ring, then placed the food he bought on it. Brother Wuji, you haven't eaten breakfast yet, right? Let's eat together, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Xue Wuji saw Yun Chujio's small face smiling sweetly, and his heart felt like it had eaten honey. He happily sat opposite Yun Chujio and ate breakfast together with Yun Chujio. Shadow Agent Hua Hua sighed in his heart. Their young master was completely finished. In the middle of the night, he had scared the old man who sold the dumplings awake and forced him to steam buns and make porridge just to please this little girl. Chapter 511. A gibberish talisman. While Yun Chujio and Xue Wuji were halfway through their meal, Di Baiming walked over expressionlessly. He took out a chair and sat down. Then he took out several bowls and a pair of chopsticks, then began to eat slowly. Xue Wuji was so angry that he was twitching. Damn it, this is what I got by staying up all night. You, facial paralysis, actually came to eat for free. However, if he were to cause trouble for Di Baiming, little sister Jiu would definitely be unhappy. Forget it, this facial paralysis, eat as you like. I'll be like feeding a pig. Xue Wuji quickly discovered that Di Baiming and Yun Chujio had not communicated the entire time. Oh, it looked like the two of them had not reconciled yet. This was a great opportunity for him. Xue Wuji kept trying to curry favor. Little sister Jiu, is this little steamed bun still to your liking? Yun Chujio nodded. It's quite delicious. Little sister Jiu, big brother bought a lot of drawers. He'll transfer them to you in a while, in case you can't eat them when you return to the Linghua faction. Big brother also bought some spirit fruits for you. After you finish eating, you can relieve the greasiness. Gotcha. The chopsticks in Di Baiming's hands snapped. Di Baiming calmly took out another pair of chopsticks and continued eating. For some reason, Xue Wuji felt a little chill and finally restrained himself a little. After the three of them had their breakfast, Master Xinyuan led everyone from the Linghua sect to the competition grounds. A high platform had already been erected in front of the Wuwei Tower for the competition. There were also 2 rows of seats on the high platform, which were reserved for the 4 sect masters and the judges. Unlike the first Wuwei Tower trial, this time, many people came to watch the competition. An hour later, the competition officially began. The competition was judged one's skill on talisman making, artifact refining, array formation, and pill refining. A total of 20 people would participate overall and 5 disciples would be sent to participate in each competition. The corresponding points would then be calculated according to the final ranking. Once all events were completed, the points of the disciples of each sect would be added together to determine the final ranking. Master Zuanyuan's attitude was relaxed. Since the first round of the Wuwei Tower trial, the Linghua sect had obtained first place. Even if they obtained the last place in this trial, it was still an acceptable result. On Yun Chujio's left sat the expressionless Di Baiming, and on her right sat Xue Wuji, who was constantly trying to curry favor with her. Little sister Jiu, I bought a lot of snacks for you. You can eat while you watch. You won't be participating in the competition anyway. You can just enjoy the show. Yun Chujio said with a smile, Thank you, Brother Wuji. You're right. I won't be participating this time, so I'll just cheer for them. Di Baiming saw Yun Chujio and Xue Wuji chatting nonstop. He was so angry that he grit his teeth. Thinking of Yun Chujio's words, he held it in. The competition soon began. The first round was the talisman-making competition. The content of the competition was a level 2 flame talisman. It was the first time Yun Chujio saw someone making a talisman. She stared curiously. The contestants held special talisman pens and dipped them in demon beast blood. Then, they slowly began to draw on the special talisman paper. Brother Wuji, why are they drawing so slowly? Yun Chujio asked in confusion. Little sister Jiu, you may not know this, but when making a talisman, it is important to ensure that the output of spiritual power is evenly distributed. If the output of spiritual power is not stable, then the talisman paper will burn on its own. As if to verify Xue Wuji's words, one of the Green Sky Palace disciples on the stage might have been nervous, and the uneven distribution of spiritual power had caused the talisman paper in his hand to burn. Without a doubt, this talisman was a failure. That disciple was naturally ended up in last place of the talisman competition. Yun Chujia's eyes stared at the actions of those disciples and cursed silently in her heart. Wasn't it just gibberish on the talisman? Was there a need to be so slow? Chapter 5:12. Little Gio's products are top-notch. After a while, a disciple of the Heavenly Gates sect indicated that the talisman he had made was completed. Soon after, another disciple indicated that he had finished making the talisman. Other than the first disciple, everyone else had finished making the flame talismans. Yun Chujia's mind was not on who had won first place. Instead, she asked Xue Wuji with a smile, "Brother Wuji, is this talisman very expensive?" Of course. The higher the level of the talisman, the more expensive it is. Not only the talisman but also the spirit tool, the array formation, and the pills are all very expensive. This is because learning those skills not only diverts the energy of cultivation, but also not everyone can learn the 4 techniques of cultivators. Many people who have learned it for decades cannot even be considered a second-rank warlock, so talent and comprehension are very important, Xue Wuji explained patiently. As soon as Xue Wuji finished speaking, he saw Yun Chujio laughing foolishly. He curiously waved his hand in front of Yun Chujia's eyes and said, "Little Sister Jio. Little Sister Jio. What are you laughing about?" Yun Chujio finally came back to her senses and said with a bright smile, "I'm thinking if I can learn all 4 techniques, will I be able to make a fortune?" The surrounding disciples of the Linghua sect could not help but curl their lips. This Yun Chujio did not know the difference between heaven and earth. Thinking she could learn all 4 techniques, it would be amazing if you were able to even learn just one. It was said that this Yun Chujio was refining pills with Elder Qi, and she had once made a name for herself in the pill refining room. After that, there was no word on further progress. It was probably due to sheer dumb luck. Otherwise, with Yun Chujia's arrogant personality, she would have already shown off. There had never been anyone in the Qingxian continent who could master 2 of the 4 arts at the same time. Yet Yun Chujio was still fantasizing about learning all of them. It was simply a pipe dream. Xue Wuji was also amused by Yun Chujio. "Little Sister Jio, although your courage is commendable, there are some people in the Tianyuan continent who are exceptionally talented, but they have only mastered 2 arts. Moreover, among the 2 arts, one is the main one and the other is the supplementary one, not to mention mastering all 4 at the same time." Yun Chujio curled her lips disapprovingly. What's so difficult about that? Don't they all need spiritual power and spiritual sense? At least this talisman and alchemy are about the same. In a while, you'll look at the artifact refining and array formation. Di Baiming, who was at the side, could not hold it in anymore. He snorted coldly. "You're overestimating yourself." Yun Chujio acted as if she did not hear him. She did not even look at him as she focused all her attention on the artifact refining competition on the stage. The armament refining competition took a much longer time. Yun Chujio yawned as she watched. This armament refining is really laborious. That piece of refined iron has been hammered at least 1,000 times. No wonder the spirit weapon is sold at such an expensive price. This is still a mortal-grade spirit weapon. If it is a middle-grade spirit weapon, it will take at least a few months or even a year to forge. The higher the grade of the spirit weapon, the longer it will take, and the more precious the materials used. To gain a good impression, Xue Wuji told her everything he knew. There was nothing he couldn't say. "Yup, if I can learn how to refine this weapon, I'll refine it for myself. If I use it to earn money, it's not worth it," Yun Chujio said while stroking her chin. The surrounding disciples of the Linghua sect were all speechless. This Yun Chujio was really superfluous and overconfident. Her words made it seem like she already knew how to refine weapons. She was really shameless. Xue Wuji thought the same in his heart. However, he said with a smile, Little Sister Gio, when you learn how to refine weapons, you must give me a spirit weapon. Humph. As long as there are materials and spirit stones, I promise to refine a top-notch spirit weapon for you. Little Gio's products are top-notch. Yun Chujio said smugly. Chapter 5:13. A genius is indeed a genius. Shui Wuji saw Yun Chujio's smug look and echoed, then he'll be waiting for your top-notch spirit weapon. Shui Wuji raised his eyebrows at Di Biming provocatively after he finished his words. How could you be so dumb as to bootlick Little Sister Gio? Sooner or later, she would find out who was the right person for her. Di Biming's face was gloomy. He wished that he could strangle Shui Wuji to death. However, Black Thing would be even angrier with him if he did anything. Shui Wuji would be able to do as he wished for now. Soon, Shui Wuji would know what would happen to him for trying to steal his woman. Refining artifacts was a time-consuming and laborious task. It was only when the sun was setting that the disciples who participated in the competition indicated that they had finished refining. As the sky was already dark, the remaining array formation and pill refining competition was scheduled to be held on the following day. The crowd of onlookers also gradually dispersed. After dinner, Shui Wuji left reluctantly. Di Biming looked at Yun Chujio with a conflicted expression before riding his sword and leaving as well. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Pretty boy, you are such a tsundere. Let's see how long you can last. Yun Chujio hopped to find Feng Ming and said, Senior brother Feng Ming, sell me some flame talismans. Feng Ming said in confusion, Little Sister Gio, why do you need flame talismans? If you need me to give you a few, I'll give them to you. During the day, I saw that it was quite fun for them to make talismans. I want to take 2 and study them, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Feng Ming was shocked. Little Sister Gio, it's very difficult to learn how to make talismans. You won't understand it if you study it yourself. Why don't you ask Elder Zhuge for advice? Yun Chujio shook her head. No need. I'm just curious. I'm just using them to pass the time. Since you're just killing time, don't use the flame talismans to study. I have a level 1 flame talisman here. It's cheaper. Even if you accidentally break it, it's not too much of a pity. Feng Ming said as he took out 2 flame talismans from his storage ring and handed them to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio took the flame talisman and thanked Feng Ming. Then she took the flame talisman and hopped to a corner. After opening the isolation disc, she took out the luminous pearl and lit it up. Then she took out a flame talisman and looked at it carefully. Yun Chujio looked at it for a while and muttered, Che. Isn't this gibberish on the talisman? It seemed so mysterious. I don't think it's difficult at all. This fellow's hand was a little itchy. She wanted to try it with her own hands. Although she could get the demon beast blood, what if she didn't have a talisman pen or talisman paper? Senior brother Feng Ming definitely didn't have these things, and she didn't want too many people to know about it. Could it be that she could only wait until she had the opportunity to buy some talisman paper and talisman pen? She thought for a while. The talisman pen was just to control the output of spiritual power to be evenly distributed. It should be possible to use her fingers directly, but how could she solve the lack of talisman paper? Forget it, I'll just take a random piece of paper and try it out. If it doesn't work, then we'll deal with it later. Therefore, Yun Chujio took out a piece of paper for drawing. She dipped her finger in the blood of the demonic beasts and transferred her spiritual power to the paper. The drawing looked decent, but when she activated it, the talisman ran at 1/10 of its original power, and the paper couldn't withstand the spiritual power and was burned. Yun Chujio smiled proudly. Although the paper was burned, it seemed that she had drawn it right. Moreover, she could use her finger to replace the talisman pen. A genius was indeed a genius. However, where could she get talisman paper? Yun Chujio looked at the flame talisman in her hand and her eyes lit up. She had thought of a good idea. Chapter 5:14. Did you guys roast meat again? Yun Chujio saw that the flame talisman in her hand was drawn with a square meter of talisman paper. The talisman was only drawn in the middle, and there was still some blank space around it. Therefore, she took out a pair of scissors and cut out the blank space. This drawing can be drawn with big or small paper. People even make microcarvings on grains of rice, so the size shouldn't affect the effect. They'll try it with this small piece. I'm too smart. This is called reducing wastage. Therefore, Yun Chujio divided the talisman paper that she cut into 4 parts and used her finger to dip it in the blood of the demonic beast to draw. In a short while, she had completed 1 piece. Look at how fast I am drawing. Look at those people on the stage. It was like they were carving embroidery. I will just draw with this. A little of this. Add to it a bit of that. I just don't know if I will succeed this time. Yun Chujio muttered a few words, then injected her spiritual power into the talisman paper and threw it out with a whoosh. However, the talisman paper's runes were not activated. They slowly fell onto the grass. Yun Chujio could not help but feel a little disappointed. It seemed that she had thought things were too simple. Could it be that she could not use her fingers? That was not right. Then why was it activated when she used the drawing paper just now? Yun Chujio drew a fire talisman on another small piece of talisman paper. Then she used her spiritual power to trigger it and threw it out, but there was still no reaction. Yun Chujio tried the remaining 2 small pieces of talisman paper, but she still did not succeed. She did not sleep well yesterday because of the matter with debeiming. She yawned and mumbled, "Fuck? It seems that geniuses can't always succeed. Let's try using the talisman pen and talisman paper another day. I'm going back to sleep first. I'm so sleepy." Yun Chujio put away the isolation formation plate and the illuminating pearl and hopped back to the female disciple's shed. After 2 hours, everyone fell asleep. The 4 small talisman papers that Yun Chujio had thrown away on the grass turned into a fireball the size of a basin and started burning. If one looked carefully, they would find that the fireball contained traces of purple lightning power. Other than some weeds, there were also some fallen leaves on the ground. The fire spread in an instant. Master Xinyuan and the others were quite alert and quickly discovered the fire. They quickly put out the fire without alerting the disciples. Strange, why is this grassland burning for no reason? It is indeed a little strange. Could it be a heavenly fire? But we didn't hear any thunder. Sectmaster, could it be that someone is plotting against us? Master Xinyuan frowned. It shouldn't be. This method is a little too childish. This little fire can't possibly cause any harm to us. Elder Chu slapped his thigh. This is the craftiness of that old fellow Du Gai. Perhaps he wants to disturb our disciples' rest. If they don't rest well, then they won't be able to perform well in the remaining 2 competitions tomorrow. Everyone thought that it was possible. Otherwise, why would there be a fire for no reason? The next morning, Shui Wuji still came early to curry favor. "Little sister Jiao, come out and eat breakfast. I bought you shrimp dumplings, rice rolls, and small wontons today." Yun Chujio yawned as she walked out of the shed. "Brother Wuji, you're up early." Secret Agent Hua Hua was silently cursing at the side. "Up early? They did not sleep throughout the night and were busy having food prepared for you. Our young master is a demon." "Little sister Jiao, did you guys roast meat again yesterday?" Shui Wuji sniffed and asked curiously. Chapter 5:15. I don't eat this kind of food. Yun Chujio shook her head. "No, Brother Wuji, why do you ask?" "There's a very strong smell of burning. Don't you smell it?" Yun Chujio's attention was on the food on the table, so she didn't notice it. After hearing what Shui Wuji said, she raised her nose and sniffed. Something did smell like it was burning. Where did the smell come from? Elder Chu happened to hear Shui Wuji and Yun Chujio talking. He said, "Yesterday, the grass over there suddenly caught fire. Don't you think it's strange? We speculated that it might be that old fart Du Gai's idea to prevent us from having a good rest. If that's the case, we won't be able to perform well in the competition. That old man is really insidious." Yun Chujio felt a little guilty for no reason. "Elder Chu, where is the fire?" Elder Chu stretched out his finger. "There, it's over there, to the west of that hemlock tree." Yun Chujio thought to herself, isn't that the place where she fiddled with the fire talisman yesterday? Could it be that she was the main culprit behind the fire? "Elder Chu, when exactly was the fire yesterday?" Yun Chujio continued to ask. Around midnight. Fortunately, we were more alert. Otherwise, that old man Du Gai would have succeeded. Elder Chu said with a little pride. Yun Chujio also scolded Du Gai with indignation. After Elder Chu left, Yun Chujio couldn't sit still anymore. Brother Wuji, I'll go to the place where the fire started. I'll come back for breakfast later. Brother will go with you. Shui Wuji put the food on the table into his storage ring and followed her attentively. Yun Chujio went to the place where the fire was last night. It was the place where she had stayed the day before. However, she had left at midnight. How could the talisman burn 2 hours later? It was really strange. Yun Chujio thought for a long time but still couldn't figure it out. Forget it, she'd better go back to the Linghua sect to study it. Breakfast was more important, and her stomach was rumbling. When Yun Chujio and Shui Wuji returned, they found Di Baiming already sitting there waiting for the two of them. Shui Wuji sneered. Di Baiming, could it be that your longevity hall can't afford to eat anymore? You're always freeloading on the breakfast I bought for little sister Jio. How can you be so thick-skinned? Di Baiming glanced at him and took out a few small steamer baskets from his storage ring. He also took out a few plates of exquisite side dishes. Finally, he took out a big bowl of sweet-smelling polar mussel porridge. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. That damn gigolo. He took out all her favorite food. Was he trying to use delicious food to please her? Humph, I won't fall for it. I won't eat this kind of food. However, cough cough. If the gigolo begged her bitterly, she could just eat a little. Just as Yun Chujio was thinking about it, she heard Di Baiming say, Shui Wuji, don't worry. I brought breakfast today. I won't eat the food you bought. After Di Baiming said that, he scooped a bowl of polar mussel porridge and drank it slowly. He did not have any intention of letting Yun Chujio eat it. Yun Chujio said to Shui Wuji angrily, Brother Wuji, let's eat breakfast too. We still have to watch the competition after eating. Shui Wuji nodded hurriedly and took out the food he bought. Yun Chujio smelled the fragrance coming from Di Baiming's dishes and felt that the shrimp dumplings in her mouth were not delicious at all. However, she refused to give in. She smacked her lips and said, Brother Wuji, the taste of the shrimp dumplings is really good. It's much better than polar mussel porridge. Chapter 5:16. To test Di Baiming's reaction when Shui Wuji heard Yun Chujio's words, he said proudly, Little sister Jio, what do you like to eat? I'll send it to you every morning from now on. As long as you tell me, I'll definitely send it to you. Di Baiming glanced at the two of them, then said to Yun Chujio, Black thing. Originally, the rest was meant for you. Since you think the shrimp dumplings are delicious, then I'd better keep it. Yun Chujio was torn between her pride and the delicacies for a few seconds, then took the bowl of polar mussel porridge to her side and said shamelessly, The shrimp dumplings are the staple food. I can have some more porridge. The corner of Di Baiming's mouth curled up, but he did not say anything, then he mockingly looked at Shui Wuji. Shui Wuji gritted his teeth. Just as he was about to say something, he saw Yun Chujio reach out her evil claws and take the 2 steamer baskets in front of Di Baiming to her side. Then she gobbled them up. She already felt that she was behaving shamelessly, so what was there to be polite about? Shui Wuji was very depressed. These things that he had spent most of the night making could not be compared to the lousy things that Di Baiming brought over. He had never seen this food in a restaurant in the Tianyuan continent. It must be made by the Temple of Immortal's own chef. He would post a notice to hire a chef when he went back. He did not believe that he could not compete with Di Baiming. Di Baiming and Shui Wuji were busy competing with each other while Yun Chujio was only responsible for eating. As for whether she would lose face or not, it was not an issue at all. After breakfast, the competition continued. The first to start was the array formation competition. There were already judges who had set up the 9 zigzag array on the high platform. After the 20 people who participated in the competition entered the array, the judges opened the array disc and ranked them according to the order in which they had to break out of the array. Yun Chujio looked at them casually while munching on melon seeds. She muttered in a low voice, This is too easy. If I go up, I'll be out in less than 15 minutes. The surrounding disciples of the Linghua sect curled their lips. This Yun Chujio was becoming more and more arrogant. Yesterday, she said that she wanted to learn all 4 techniques of cultivators, and today, she was spewing nonsense. How could she be out in less than 15 minutes? Are you dreaming? This 9-winding array was formed from 9 array formations. It was already good enough if the disciples on the stage could get out within 4 hours. It was surely impossible to make it in half an hour. However, Xue Wuji knew how powerful Yun Chujio was. He smiled and said, "Of course, they can't compare with Little Sister Jio. Little Sister Jio, if you're bored, you can read the book. You haven't finished reading the few books that we bought together last time, have you?" Di Baiming's eyes darkened. Damn this Xue Wuji. He knew that he and He Dong had a conflict because of the book, but Xue Wuji had to bring it up. He must be up to no good. Di Baiming had to hold back and not lose his temper. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. So that was the case. Didn't the black chicken head slip up last time? This guy did it on purpose. You black-headed chicken. Just you wait, you'll get my revenge sooner or later. However, it was fine to read it. Firstly, to pass the time, and secondly, to test Di Baiming's reaction. Therefore, Yun Chujio took out a book from her storage ring and read it happily. It was titled Smiling at the Pretty Boy's Harem. Di Baiming wanted to burn this book into ashes. He clenched his fist and held it back. Yun Chujio saw that although Di Baiming's face was gloomy, he did not do anything. She was very proud. No matter how overbearing and arrogant you are, I will turn you into my slave. Chapter 517. How dare you snatch my book in broad daylight? Di Baiming's face was gloomy. He tried his best to focus on the competition stage and did not think about the book in Yun Chujio's hands. However, his mind was filled with words like handsome man, harem, peerless beauty, husband, and so on. He gritted his teeth. Black thing, pass me the book in your hands. Yun Chujio was so scared that she immediately covered the book in her arms. What are you doing? Are you going to destroy my book again? Don't even think about it. How dare you snatch my book in broad daylight? How shameless! The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched violently. He sighed and said, I don't want to destroy this book. I just want to check out the contents and see why you are so obsessed with this book. Yun Chujio was skeptical, but she still handed the book to Di Baiming. Then, she nervously stared at Di Baiming, afraid that he would not keep his promise and destroy the book. It's really pretty. You'll know when you see it. When you read it, you focus on its plot and ignore the unimportant parts. I'm not interested in the fights between the goblins. I just like to read the storyline. Yun Chujio explained. Di Baiming resisted the urge to burn the book in his hand. He opened it and started to read. What nonsense was this? Women were superior to men? Women could not only be the emperor but also take in more than 10 male concubines? Di Baiming could not continue reading after just 2 pages. He threw the book to Yun Chujio. Ridiculous, extremely boring. Seeing that Di Baiming did not destroy the book, Yun Chujio made a victory sign in her heart. The gigolo was about to compromise. She had to find an opportunity to work harder. In the future, she would be able to openly read these kinds of books. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio finished reading the book after a short while. Then she took out another stack from her storage ring. Black thing, how many did you buy that day? Not many, just a few hundred. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Di Baiming, these are all given to little sister Jio by me. Girls should be pampered. I'm not like you, bullying little sister Jio all day long. What's wrong with reading a book? I think this is a very, very good hobby. Little sister Jio, you can read as much as you want. If this facial paralysis doesn't let you, I will deal with him. Xue Wuji saw that the relationship between Yun Chujio and Di Baiming had eased up a little. He quickly came out to make his presence felt and at the same time to sow discord. Yun Chujio glanced at Xue Wuji. Brother Wuji, thank you. It would be even better if you could be more serious next time. Xue Wuji was dumbfounded. It was over. Little sister Jio knew that he had intentionally let it slip last time. What should he do? Little sister Jio must hate him to death. Little sister Jio, I really didn't do it on purpose last time. I really didn't mean to let it slip. Besides, judging from the words, it wasn't a bad thing to begin with. I didn't expect that Baiming, this expressionless man, would be so unreasonable. I immediately fell out with you. Shui Wuji felt that his words were extremely clever. He had taken himself out and secretly tricked Baiming. It was killing two birds with one stone. Shui Wuji, I don't care what your motive is. You have repeatedly tried to sow discord between me and the Black Thing. I will make your blood demon sect pay for your stupidity. Baiming could not stand it anymore. If it were not for this Shui Wuji, he and the Black Thing would not have ended up like this. It was all caused by him sowing discord. Chapter 5:18. We can only be friends. Shui Wuji was stunned at first, then he said to Yun Chujio with deep affection, "Little sister Jio, brother is doing this for you. Even if the demon blood sect suffers from this facial paralysis revenge, brother will always help you." Yun Chujio saw that Shui Wuji's expression was different from his usual pretense, but his true feelings were revealed. She was slightly stunned. She had always thought that Shui Wuji was trying to curry favor with her just to cause trouble for Baiming. She did not expect him to have such a good impression of her. Yun Chujio had always been straightforward and decisive when doing things. Since she did not like Shui Wuji, then she should not give him any false hope. Yun Chujio was silent for a moment. After she took out the isolation disc and activated it, her face turned serious. "Brother Wuji, although we were not happy before, after these few days, I have already treated you as a friend. However, we are only friends. There is no other possibility." Yun Chujio did not continue. Although Shui Wuji looked a little silly, his mind was very clear. She believed that he understood what she meant. When Shui Wuji heard Yun Chujio's words, the light in his eyes instantly dimmed. His heart felt sour, as if it was even worse than losing a lot of spirit stones. When Baiming saw Yun Chujio say this, he felt extremely relieved. The shadow that had been lingering in his heart for so many days had finally disappeared. As I said, with Shui Wuji's stupid appearance, he still wanted to compete with me for the Black Thing. He was simply overestimating himself. Damn you, Shui Wuji. Do you think you can snatch the Black Thing? You must be dreaming. However, seeing that you have suffered such a blow, it'll temporarily withhold any action against the demon blood sect. Seeing that Shui Wuji looked like he had nothing left to live for, Yun Chujio felt guilty. However, since she did not him, she had to nip the bud before things escalated. If she were to play flirtatious games, it would be harmful to others and herself. Shui Wuji was silent for a moment, then he smiled evilly. It seems that this young master's charm is limited to little sister Jio. Little sister Jio, don't worry. This young master has always been able to take things easy. Since you have made it so clear, then you will be my little sister from now on. If anyone bullies you, Big Brother will beat them up until they find their teeth all over the floor. When Yun Chujio saw that Shui Wuji had returned to his carefree self, she felt relieved and said with a smile, "Thank you, Brother Wuji." Baiming frowned. Shui Wuji gave up so easily? This was not like his personality at all. However, since Black Thing did not have him in his heart, he was relieved. Yun Chujio put away the isolation disc and continued to read the book in her hand. At this moment, Baiming and Shui Wuji who were beside her were in a state of ice and fire. The gloominess on Baiming's face was swept away. He suddenly felt that Black Thing did not mind reading these messy books. At the very least, he did not have the time to deal with an idiot like Shui Wuji. Should he get more of these books for Black Thing? On the other side, Shui Wuji suffered a huge blow. Little sister Jio, is your eyesight bad? How can you like Baiming's facial paralysis and not me? I am more gentle and considerate than that facial paralysis. Moreover, I am so good to you. Why do you like him and not me? Shui Wuji secretly gritted his teeth. This young master will not give up so easily. Little sister Jio will understand sooner or later that he is more suitable for her than Baiming's facial paralysis. Chapter 5:19. The Yun family had an accident after the array formation competition was completed. It was the alchemy competition. Yun Chujio was not interested. In her eyes, These people were like children playing house, too weak. After an hour and a half, the alchemy competition also ended uneventfully. After the points were calculated, the second round was indeed won by the Heaven's Gate sect. The Heaven's Sword sect was second, the Linghua sect was third, and the Bixiao Palace sect was last. After adding up the results of the 2 rounds, other than the Bixiao Palace sect who had slightly worse results, the other 3 sects were neck and neck. However, Du Gai was very dissatisfied with the results. If it wasn't for that Yunchujio, their Heaven's Gate sect would definitely be ranked first in the Wei Tower trial. Stupid girl, I won't let you off. After the trial ended, the 4 great sects set off and left the Wei Mountain one after another. Di Baiming and Xue Wuji did not accompany Yun Chujio back to the Linghua sect because they had some matters to attend to. Although Yun Chujio and Di Baiming did not completely reconcile, when Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio had explicitly rejected Xue Wuji, in his heart, he let go of the matter of Yun Chujio reading the book. Yun Chujio felt that she could not rush to correct the tsundere character of the gigolo. She simmered it down slowly, and sooner or later, she would change him. On the afternoon of the 3rd day after they returned to the Linghua faction, Yun Chuzi and the others found Yun Chujio. Little Jio, grandfather is sick. Quickly tell the sect leader, we have to go back and see him. Yun Chujio was shocked. What illness does grandfather have? How did you find out about it? Housekeeper Ji sent someone to deliver the letter. He said that he had caught a cold and didn't care about it, but it's got worse. Now, he's bedridden and can't get out of bed. Grandfather doesn't want us to worry, but Housekeeper Ji thinks that we should go back and visit him. They'll go and ask for permission to leave from the sect master right now and borrow another flying spirit tool so that we can hurry back. Yun Chujio was concerned about Yun Xiaotian. When she heard that Yun Xiaotian was sick, she immediately felt a little uneasy. Yun Chujio went to find Master Xianyuan and told him about the matter. Master Xianyuan hesitated for a moment, but he still agreed to Yun Chujio's request and lent her a small flying spirit tool. He told her to be careful on the way and to return as soon as possible. Yun Chujio came out from Master Zuanyuan's place, found Yun Chuzi and the others, and left the Linghua sect on the flying spirit tool. And Feng was quite puzzled when he saw Yun Chujio leave the Linghua sect again. Where's little sister Jio going? She carefully tailed her. The flying spirit tool was quite fast. At noon the next day, Yun Chujio and the others arrived at Yi City. They got off the flying spirit tool, and after entering the city, they went straight to the Yun mansion. When they arrived at the door of the Yun mansion, Yun Chujio found that the 2 people guarding the door looked very unfamiliar. She had never seen them before, and they were actually at the 9th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Her heart moved, and she asked casually, "Are the autumn crabapples of our Yun mansion ripe?" The 2 of them were stunned. One of the tall guards smiled and said, "They should be ripe already. Young Miss Jio has visited the family head, so you can let your servants pick a few and have a taste." Yun Chujio smiled and waved at the tall guard. "I brought some gifts for the 2 of you from the Linghua sect. Come here, I'll give them to you." Yun Chuzi and the others frowned. Why was little Jio so inconspicuous? Why was she not in a hurry to go in and see the family head? Why was she chatting with these 2 guards? Besides, how could their Yun residence have any autumn apple fruits? The tall guard hesitated for a moment, but he still walked over with a smile. "Thank you very much, Miss Jio." Yun Chujio smiled at him, and a big paper bag appeared in her hand. "This is my gift to you. Take it." Yun Chujio suddenly threw the paper bag in her hand at the man's face. At the same time, the rolling pin in her hand was thrown at the man. Chapter 520. My life is worth so little. When the man saw the paper bag being thrown at him, he subconsciously blocked it and his face was covered with the chili paste inside. Before he could react, Yun Chujio's rolling pin had smashed into his chest. The man screamed and fell to the ground. When the other short guard saw this, he was about to run into the Yun mansion when Yun Chuzi and the others had already reacted by surrounding the man. Yun Chujio hit the man's knee with the rolling pin and leaped forward, holding the kitchen knife on the man's neck. "Tell me, who are you people? Where did the Yun family go?" Yun Chujio was burning with anxiety. Something must have happened to the Yun family. She hoped that her grandfather and the others were still alive. Stupid girl, if you dare to kill me, none of the people inside will live. The short man saw that the situation was dire and said fiercely. Yun Chujio saw that she couldn't get anything out of him, so she slit his throat. Then she stabbed the tall man lying on the ground. Just as Yun Chujio was about to speak to Yun Chuzi and the others, the door opened. In the middle of the courtyard sat a man wearing a golden mask. Yun Chujio couldn't see through this person's spiritual power, so he must be above the second level of the spirit cultivator realm. Around him stood dozens of men in black, and half of them, Yun Chujio couldn't see through their cultivation. The remaining people were at least at the 9th layer of the spirit enhancement realm. Behind the man, Yun Xiaotian and the others were tied up with ropes, and their mouths were stuffed with rags. Almost everyone was wounded, and their clothes were full of blood. The only thing that made Yun Chujio feel relieved was that none of them were dead. Little girl, you are indeed very crafty. You saw right through the guards instantly. No wonder someone offered 100 million low-grade spirit stones to take your little life. You killed 2 of us just now. In exchange, 2 people will pay with their lives. The golden masked man gestured for Yun Xiaonan and Yun Chusher to be escorted to the side. Stop. Don't you want my life? I'll go with you. Let these people go. Yun Chujio said indifferently as if this was a very small matter. The man in the golden mask was stunned. Yo, little girl, you're quite loyal. I thought I had to kill a few more people to force you into submission. Since that's the case, eat this poison pill. Yun Chujio took the poison pill from the man and was about to put it into her mouth when Yun Chuzi and the others grabbed Yun Chujio's arm. Little Gio. You can't. Yun Chujio smiled bitterly. Do we have any other choice? Yun Chuzi and the others fell silent. They could not beat him. If they left, Yun Xiaotian and the others would die without a doubt. They were extremely angry at their incompetence. Yun Chujio played with the pill in her hand and said to the golden masked man, "What if you don't let me go even if I eat this poison pill?" The golden masked man laughed. The biggest creed of our League of Assassins is to keep our promises. Otherwise, we would not have become the #1 assassin organization in the Qing Xian continent. As long as you take this poison pill and follow our instructions, I promise not to hurt anyone here. League of Assassins? It sounds pretty awesome. This is a no-cost business. It must be very profitable, right? What is your business scope? How did the customers find you? Could it be that you appeared out of thin air after shouting in the courtyard that I wanted to hire a murderer? All right, the person who killed me only paid you 100 million low-grade spirit stones? My life is worth so little. Yun Chujio asked curiously. Everyone, you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.